Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots and across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created. 5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they can have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
That's what we did with our place. And everything.
I hope you had a nice one. Seriously. There's developed purpose. I bring it every day on purpose and with purpose. It's a reminder that the truth, just like that bell was, it has a ring to it. So here's the ring. Time to time. It's going to be some big pieces. Sometimes they're be hard to chew, hard to swallow. But the truth is always what we satisfy ourselves. So take our time with it. And welcome at this point, my sidekick, Lucy McGillicuddy, so Kai, we're gonna work it out, see what we can do. Kai, you still can't hear me? Oh, she can hear something. I see her mouth started moving. So if she can hear something, that means I'll just have to talk loud. Kai, we'll pretend you're 85, 90 years old. Okay, Grandma. Come on with me to the activity room and bring your green Jello with you. Time for bingo. No, not a dingo. Bingo. I have a sneaky suspicion. My husband's like leaning in on those like assisted living commercials, and I'm like, "Are you planning on putting me in a home?" I'll run away first. I'm not kidding. They'll find me wanting somebody. Anyway, Kai Graham is here today, and I love what she does because she saw the power of Lucy Hogan. Tickets, by the way, went on sale yesterday on the website. Get over to your seat. Ooh, you know that you look old. This year, on the 24th of October, we're taking it to a whole new level. 700 people, and they're not just kids from the institution. They're all private schools, home school, anywhere we can get them. So, because they're kids, right? And Ty Graham knows a little bit about kids. He's an international speaker, best-selling author, and podcaster. She is a family anxiety support specialist. She focuses on supporting teens and young adults. Now, her mission is to build a mentally healthier, happier generation of young people. So I'm going to get her in here because I'm dying to find out if she's here yet. Like Mike TV, see him back there above the TV? Met him this past summer. Mike TV, my favorite movie is I have to do this. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Never ending story. Right? Atreyu and everybody, right? And the River all those. I have big giant movie posters, gold ticket, Ruby Sniffer. I got them all. And anyway, I just want to say this. Am I coming in clear? I say, am I coming in clear? Love you, Mike TV. Here comes Kai. Will it might work. If nothing else, I know my bells don't work.
I can hear your bell. I can hear everything apart from your mic, so it's interesting to see. But anyway, let's just run with this. Let's see how we get on.
Let me see what they're saying. Hold on.
I heard the pre-video just came and bam, it was cool. But you're quite sort of fuzzy, so I'm struggling to hear you.
I wonder if everything looks the same as always. Hold on. Okay.
Oh my stars, there you are.
What? Oh, because now I see the light wasn't working. It wasn't blinking. So it was me that whole time?
I've got you loud and clear now.
What about now?
A bit quieter, but I can turn the volume up.
Okay.
That's it.
You see me? Why is that thing turning on and off on? Oh, Lord. I should have noticed that because it turns colors when you're. But the other light was on. That's all I was. Oh, Lord.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You're teasing.
Yeah, I am. How are you, Kai? Or hi, Kai.
Good man. How are you?
Good. Hi, Ty. Wait. Hi, Kai. When was the
Yeah.
last time you drank a Mai Tai?
A very, very long time ago.
Or
I
had a
don't.
slice of apple pie?
Oh no, that was much closer to. Yeah. I'm
You
not,
have a fun name.
thank you, thank you. I
Tell people where you're at, Kai. I'm just gonna get out of the way and let you just create your own vibe, and then we're gonna start talking about the kids. But take a minute and just introduce yourself to everybody if
Thank
you
you.
could.
Dr. Lauren, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm thrilled to be here. You can tell that I'm not your side of the pond, guys, can't you? I am in the UK. I'm actually, well, I come from Liverpool initially, where the Beatles come from, but I haven't lived there for a while. I am now, I've been in Belfast for 30 something glorious years. And yeah, so that marriage brought me there. And that's the sort of the top end of Ireland. So we're Northern Ireland, still clinging on to the UK. But so I am a family anxiety specialist. So I help families who are struggling, families who have got sort of, anxiety ruling their household. And it could be, it comes in all shapes and forms. And so I'm helping sort of families sort their rubbish out. I am a mum of two wonderful young adults now, 28 and 30. So I've been in the trenches of parenthood
You
for
look
quite a
good.
while. Good man. Thank you. Do you like the filter?
Yeah. You don't have a filter.
So I've been sort of around the block a few times as far as having sort of kids who are struggling. My son was diagnosed with ADHD in COVID, and with that often comes anxiety. So we had to roll up.
Why? I have ADHD and it's my superpower. Tell
Well,
him.
that's what he learned. But I tell you what, he was really struggling until he realized that he feels this way because he's wired differently, and he's trying to put himself into a square peg into a round hole. And as soon as he got his diagnosis, wow, it turned everything on its head.
Is he a creative?
He is. He is, and he's very charismatic, and he's very chaotic, and he can't be relied upon to turn up sort of promptly. But he has got a wonderfully sort of powerful brain. So he's now working out how to use it properly, which is so wonderful to see. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're in Ireland.
Yes, I'm in the north of Ireland. So
Do you speak Irish?
I do not. No.
I do.
Do you?
Yes. You want to hear some?
Go on then.
Okay. Let me see. I'm rusty. I got to think it up. Okay. Made for a man, but I like it too. Wait, I have more. Oh, me lucky charms. They're magically delicious. Wait, there's more. Oh, give me back me gold and I'll leave ye alone. And that's it.
You see, you're wasted here,
I know. I'm so glad that I'm bilingual. So anyway, that's the extent of my Irish. So let's get into this. You work with young people.
I do.
First of all, I know since COVID, a lot of us have a broader reach, if you will. But have you always worked? I assume you can do a lot of work now via telehealth on the internet. But before COVID, did people primarily see you in person, or was it both even then?
And therefore, I have a lot. I mean, I know people's experience with COVID is very varied, and I have to some extent benefited from it personally because my kids came to stay there. They were sort of 26 and sort of 28 then, but they came to stay for sort of 7 months or something, which I never thought would happen. So that was a bonus. But in that time, my son was less able to distract himself, and that's when his ADHD reared his head. So I am grateful for COVID for bringing us two together for a long period of time so I could help him out. And also Yeah, when COVID came along, everyone had to rely on sort of, talking over the airwaves. And so I went from one-to-one, which was very time consuming, and to sort of speaking to people from all parts of the globe now. So I've got clients in Europe and Canada and America, and actually, funnily enough, not so many in Northern Ireland now, lots in the south of England. So it's helped me broaden my reach and get my message out there, and to talk to you sort of, and
I know, it's
your
exciting. Big
yeah.
change. It's a big change. Not all therapists are happy with it. My husband's a therapist, but
Right.
back then, before COVID, he had all those years in private practice,
Yes.
an actual office, and it was
Yes.
a lot. And then telehealth. Now he's like 2 floors upstairs.
Yeah.
He only has
That's
to get
right.
work shirts now, nothing else. No shoes, no nothing.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It makes us a bit more flexible,
it sure
and also,
does.
yeah.
It sure
So
does.
it's all good.
So let me ask, when you started this work, because you're an educated woman in the field, was your primary field of focus always on young people, or was that something you kind of grew into?
Dr. Lauren, I am a chameleon. In my 20s, I was working in the City of London, sort of doing the back end computers for the traders on the trading floor. I then went on to be a stay-at-home mum in my 30s. In my
Very
40s, I was a wedding and portrait photographer. So I've sort of changed my hats every so often. What happened was my dad got terminal cancer, and I sort of hung up my camera for a while because no self-respecting bride wants someone that's a bit flaky and says, I'm sort of putting my family first. But after he died, I couldn't get back into the photography, so I went to volunteer for a charity, a national charity in the UK called Childline, which is basically online and sort of phone child counselling. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to, sort of in my sort of part time. In the meantime, I started a coaching business for women which was basically, it was a bit sort of fluffy, to be fair. It wasn't focused enough, but I was helping women sort of get out of divorces and sort of, mastectomies, powerful stuff. But what started happening is this sort of, they say, listen, I know I need fix, but will you sort my child out?
Yeah.
And so the business head went on, and I suddenly realized gap in the market here.
Wait,
So
I
yeah,
can't do it. My ADHD. So I know you can handle me because you
yes,
have a
fire
son
away,
with it, right?
fire away.
I'm an old ADHD, so I might be a little rough for you because you're
Yeah,
handling. You're
listen, I think we all have sort of traits, don't we?
okay.
So
So
yeah.
here it is. I am showing great restraint because I want to pick up some of your brogue. So if
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
okay, because when you say certain things, I have to practice it. So I'll be saying it. It's like I have some form of a Tourette's thing
I get
because
you.
I mean, like say 30s.
30s.
30s. See, I'm trying to learn so I can have some more stuff in my arsenal. So okay, so I just didn't want you to think I was cray cray.
No. Well, on a side note, I had a business coach who was in Canada. And she would sort of sit there and every so often put her head down and start writing. And I went, "What are you doing?" And she said, I'm writing all the chiasms because I come out with all this stuff." And she's just sort of saying, "Oh, we've never heard that before." So to me, and they'll come out.
So you know what that is, right?
What?
You know that's a real thing. I tell people all the time, especially those who are seeking to make their mark in speaking. I say, well, I don't think anybody should try to be a motivational speaker. That's from the 80s. You know what I'm
Good.
saying? No, seriously.
I hear you.
You're right. You want to be inspirational.
Yes.
And when you use your own I-isms, your own chi-isms, Laurenisms, Martha-isms, you are giving people something that they go, oh, I never thought about it like that. Oh, I've never heard that. Now they're inspired, which means in spirit.
Oh, cool. Okay.
In spirit. For me, it does. When I'm inspired, it's because I'm within spirit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I know it does. Let me ring the bell. Okay, so let's talk about this. You saw I had an ad out for my kids event, the Power of We Symposium. And my whole story is about childhood, is about kids. I had 22 moms. Everything around me is filled. I have toys and games and stuff because I revel in play.
Good.
Because I felt like what I saw in foster care was that all of us children, we were like candles that had wicks, but traumas came and went to the wick, but the wick is still there. But it took me 5 additional decades to find something that I believed could relight my wick, if that makes any sense. Because trauma,
That's so cool.
so you see what I'm saying? Trauma may have snuffed that particular flame out, but it left me the wick.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about, what is it that you are seeing now? What is your current hotbed that you're finding with young people that is on their minds? What's keeping young people up at night nowadays?
Do you know, I think, to be honest, it has always been the case. I saw it pre-COVID, and it's sort of still coming through, is a lot of, I just, first of all, let me apologize to the young people for our generation, because somewhere along the line, we're screwing it up right royally.
Oh, yeah.
We are, the kids that I speak to are basically sort of saying, what is the point? What's the point of me trying to work hard because I can't afford a house, sort of at the end of it? What's the point of me having to do X, Y, and Z because the economy is on its knees? What's the point of me having to do X, Y, and Z because you're ruining the planet on our behalf? And our kids have got really, really big issues. I mean, I know a lot of adults are sort of going, oh, well, it's just a phase. But I don't think we give our kids enough credit. And I think our kids are now looking at the world more holistically. I was brought up in the sort of 70s, 80s, and 90s where it was work.
70s, 80s, and 90s?
Well, yeah. I stopped listening in the 90s, I must admit, and started sort of doing my own thing. But, so when I was growing up, I was sort of told, work hard. It was that ethic of, the power suits, and the women can have everything, and they've got to be ball busters. And it's not right. And we were taught that money was the motivator. And a lot of kids now are sort of doing, hang on a minute, it's more about work-life balance. I mean, my daughter is sort of, when she's job hunting, she sort of goes, well, I'm not going to apply to that company because I don't like its values. And I'm sort of going, God, that didn't even cross my mind when I was your age.
Right, exactly right.
And so, and my son is now working in Toronto, and he's sort of doing, he's much more sort of concerned about the planet and ethically sourcing products. And, and I'm going, how wonderful that our kids are looking at the whole picture rather than what's in it for them. They're a lot more conscious, and I sort of think, for them, it's the future is still very uncertain. I mean, you can look around the world and see how many sort of troubled hotspots there are at the minute. And I just don't think we're setting a very good example. And our kids are sort of sitting there going, where do I fit in? What do I do? What's the point? Because their future feels a lot more uncertain. When I grew up, it was, you've got to have a job for life, and that's fine. Get in the bank, or be a nurse, or be a solicitor, or whatever it was, and just do that for the rest of your life. And our kids nowadays are going, that ain't going to cut it, because that's just going to, that's going to cause burnout. That's going to cause upset, and my mental well-being wants more than just a job that pays.
I can tell you're right on that, because, I have just in my coaching program, 2 doctors, 1 doctor, 1 surgeon, both women and they're young. Yeah. Let's just put it this way, young enough they could still have 2 or 3 more kids each if they wanted to, right?
Yeah.
But they have walked away from their medical practice completely.
Yeah.
Just walked away for something else, because their standards, what's important to them, has changed. Now, they say that they could smell the aroma of this from when they first started, but a lot of them, they're on the back end of when it was what you described. You're going to go and do this, and you're going to go and do that, just like your father and your grandfather, or this is what we do. We all went to that school, or whatever. Yeah. And they were fulfilling that, and now it's not fulfilling them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I think a lot of the kids are following what their parents never achieved. And so the parents are sort of going, well, you've got to had a much better education than me, so you've got to do X, Y, and Z. And it's the sort of, it's the, be it helicopter parenting or tiger parenting, whatever you want to call it, where we are sort of going, but you've had it much better than us, so you've got to make the most of your opportunities. And sort of we're quite good at guilt tripping our kids. And actually what we need to do is let go and let our kids be who the heck they want to be.
Okay, easier said than done.
Of course.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's the same stuff that they said 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They've told parents that since the beginning of time. But we, just like we thought when I graduated high school in the 80s, I thought those clothes were never going out of style. Oh, we got it. How could this ever go out of style? These Earth shoes, these puka shells? No, these Jordache jeans, we're going to rock them till we leave this earth. That's what we really believed.
Yeah.
But the world is different. Now, I want to say this. These kids now, I remember 10 years ago, my work with kids, I realized in middle school, they were already deciding where they were going to give their money in life, where their philanthropic work was going to take place. I'm going to save the wells, or I'm going to Greenpeace, or I'm going to build houses. Whatever it was, they started that soon. Now, I want to ask you this, because on the screen, your name or your work name underneath, let's talk about those first two words, family anxiety, because you're a specialist in it. So here's what I want you to explain. A lot of us have a lot of different names for what that is. But really, if it were an experience that we could all relate to, I would say, like, have you ever had a plug or something that is not all the way it's like it's going, you can hear the electricity moving through it. Sometimes a spark when it's overloaded and the fuse is going to burst, and you hear, and then now you can smell that smell on the air, I'm talking that electric smell. That's how I see family anxiety.
Yes.
You see what I mean? Because I came through 22 homes in foster care, and I have 2 families, adopted, and there's a lot of there's more similarities when it comes to this family anxiety than not. So let's talk about when people come to you for family anxiety, what got them there? Are they saying it's all of us? There's something going on in this house. How do they know it's a family issue and not Marianne, who won't come out of her room?
Well, to be honest, I liken it to having, I loved your sort of, your electrical sort of smelling the plastic thing, but I liken it to having a car with a wonky wheel, in that if you've got a car with a flat tire, the whole system feels out. The whole thing feels sort of,
drive it.
Exactly. The point is that the car isn't broken. The carburetor's fine. The Bose sound system, if you happen to have one, seems to be working. The windscreen wipers are going fine. The only thing that is affecting the movement of the car, or the car's running, is one flat. So it doesn't mean the whole stuff's broken. And this is what happens is when you've got a child, let's say, who's struggling with anxiety, they have an impact across the whole of the family. I mean, I have sort of parents sort of saying, I feel really guilty because, sort of Peter's having such bad anxiety that I'm ignoring Mary and she's just getting on with it. And, and so I think the thing is, what we have to realize is, A, the family isn't broken, but the whole family is being impacted. So the trick is to have a look at what's going on and see if we can break it down and then address the issue so that we can get the family back onto a smoother running sort of journey.
So how do you, so a family is 2 or more.
Yeah.
2 or more.
Yeah.
So how do you get them to work together? When I remember when I had a particular foster home, the Valentine family, and they had a thing every Friday evening called family meetings.
Yes.
And we could sit there in the living room and go around, and I could say, okay, Mrs. Valentine, this week, when you got my laundry back to me a day later than you usually do, you may not ever realize it at the time, but you really cost me. I got called out on the carpet at gym the next day because I didn't have my shorts, and I got a demerit. and it wasn't my fault, but I didn't know how to express it. Now she can't say, well, the only reason I did, because that was called discounting.
Ah, cool. Yes.
You see what I mean? So we learned how to, it was okay to speak how you feel, but remember that people don't make the power that leaves you feeling a certain way. You choose that.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about families who, and I don't see that, I don't hear about that anymore. A lot of people having those kinds of things. What do you do? How do you get in to start unpacking all of this baggage that is in this family of anxiety?
I think the thing is that a lot of the time the parents are a bit needy and needing to find out what's going on, needing to sort of, if only you'll speak to me, I'll be able to help you out. And yet the young person, the teenager or the child, often struggles to work out in their own head what the heck's going on. So how on earth, if they don't know what's going on here, but they just want it to stop, how the heck can they communicate it with someone else? So I think the thing is to understand that actually, even though we want to speak to our kids, they might not have all the answers. They might not be able to even sort of verbalize what the heck's going on. So I think the thing is gently. When our kids are you see, anxiety comes in all shapes and sizes. I mean, it could be self-harm, it could be eating disorders, it could be school refusal where they won't go to school. It could be the grades are dropping. It could be perfectionism and they're just putting themselves on such a sort of, a high standard so it comes in all shapes and sizes. The first thing is to work out where it is that your child's at the minute, and it's to meet them there. And, whether or not they need a duvet day and to sort of stay at home, whether or not they need to sort of understand that the only one putting the standards so high is themselves, not sort of, mum and dad's expectations aren't as high as theirs, or if it's understanding that, well, actually this eating disorder is potentially sort of a control thing. We need our kids to understand that we have their back rather than being on their back. So it goes really back to basics. It goes back to listening and just being available rather than trying to fix anything to begin with.
True. Now, I want to ask your opinion on this, because the kids I talk to, one of the things that I swear it comes out of their mouth so much, because they'll confide in me, because I tell them, like I just did a thing at Colorado College a few weeks ago, and I always tell them, if the adults that come into the youth plenary sessions, I tell them, you can peek your head in, but 5 minutes and you got to go, because this is our space. And I do that because I tell the kids, look, I'm a cuss. So if you want to put that in the thing at the end where you give me the grades and stuff, go right ahead, because I want to give them permission to know, like, listen, I'm just here as a peer of the human race. I'm here as someone who doesn't want to just listen, but I want to hear you.
Yeah.
You see, I really want to hear you. And I'll say this. A lot of them are saying this, the ones that are home, they're talking like middle school and high school, really high school kids. Lack of privacy. They say that their parents snoop, that they're, and I say, well, what are they looking for? That are they asking questions first? And you're saying, nothing. And they know you better than that. So they got to go look for some kind of evidence. Or are they just in there just to see, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego on some kind of a sleuthing mission? And they just say privacy. I think what I think a lot of the time gets mixed up is that kids want you to be available when they're ready.
Yes, 100%.
And not when you say, tell me.
Yeah.
You're not leaving this house until you explain yourself. That kind of shit.
And that's the thing, is that we are parents often, and these are huge generalizations, I know, but parents often are parenting from a place of fear because they don't know what's going on. They need to know. I need to know what so-and-so's thinking. I need to know what's going on in their world. And if their kids are going, look, just trust me, I'm just a boring, normal teenager who's trying to work it out here, that is not a good enough answer for the parents. So they're going, right, well, I've got to see, are they on drugs? Are they doing this? And I think the thing is that our kids don't feel trusted. I think our kids feel as though we're permanently looking at them sort of through a spotlight, and it's because we're fearful, and it's because we don't understand their world. If you even look at technology, I mean, the only technology I had was a phone with a long cable, and I sat on the stairs for 3 hours speaking to my friends. I never had all this stuff that our kids are sort of privy to now. But also things like self-harm and eating disorders, and the, even sort of suicide. It sort of was much more hidden when we were children, and so we don't have the experience on dealing with it. Our kids are able to get all the answers through their own, and so the parents are sort of on the back foot a bit, and rather than meeting their kids where they're at, going, I haven't a clue what's going on, but can we work this out together? We are still told as parents, we need to have it all sorted out. We need to sort our kids out. We need to make sure. And so we don't really know what we're doing. We hate to admit that we might get things wrong. And we feel that we have to prove that we're the boss and we know everything.
Okay, I got something. I'm going to just put it out there. I think a lot of parents, because kids tell me that too. I'm not trying to be my mom's friend. I don't need a mom who is my best friend.
Yeah.
She wants to go out shopping with me and hanging with me and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And she, I can't trust her around my phone. And this is like this. I had some kids in middle school that were showing me, we were talking about social media etiquette, right? Now, all bars down. It's like they know I'm not going to go ratting on them. But we're going to talk about the reality of what you just told me. Know this. Unless you're going to harm yourself or that sort of thing, I'm bound to report your ass. Yeah, now, but one of the things, too, is they say they have so many workarounds. Like, for instance, their phones. Things that their parents look to see what's on their phone. And they have apps that look like Spotify or something. And behind it is some other shit. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. And the parents, so it's like, okay, I'm not going to go that route with my kid. I want them to be able to tell me, talk about what you do. Where is that Superman phone booth that parents and their kids alike can go in and come out that super person so that they can reach for somebody. Our theme for Power We this year is, and it's very purposeful. It took me months to make sure I was doing the right thing. Always together, never alone. Because I don't care what it is, narcissistic relationships, trafficking, gang jumping, any of the things that snatch our kids from within reach and takes them somewhere else to promise them, I'll be that lover, I'll be that parent, I'll be that friend, I'll be that whatever's missing in your life, just come with me. And and that's how they get them there. So I want you to talk about what that telephone booth looks like that you find and you place in the middle of a family, and they each get to access it to find that superpower they need to be safe and to know each other enough that they can have each other's backs. We should be our loved ones' wingmen and wingwomen. We really should. Talk about that, if you would, Kai.
It is based on trust, no snooping on the phones and all this sort of stuff. But that takes a while to be earned. And I think the thing is what we have to do is sort of sit down with the kids and sort of basically work out the ground rules and work out the boundaries and go, it is my job whilst you're under this roof and whilst you are, until you're 18 or 21 or whatever the legal age is, whichever country you are, it is my job to keep you safe. It is my job to make sure that everything's okay with you. Now, if you don't tell me anything, that makes my job harder. But your job is to become a fully fledged adult into this world, but I need you to do it on your terms. So it's my job to support that. And it's your job to communicate that. So it's all down to communication. And a lot of the time the kids don't want to speak because, oh God, they're just going to do. But I think the thing is we have to prove that we are reliable and trustworthy parents. And we have to, every one of us, Dr. Lauren, we all want to be loved, understood, and respected.
And I don't think just parents. I think as able-bodied citizens, as adults, that you remember back in the day, Kai, or you might not, because you might be too young for it. Well, or it might not have been in your country, but here in the United States, when I was a kid, there was a thing called Neighborhood Watch.
Yes, we had that. Yeah.
Okay, and people would put that little sign in the window so you knew if something was going, this was before stranger danger or any of that, you knew there's a house, it registered. Even if you weren't looking for the signs over the you'd go the same routes all the time like kids will do. You knew where they were at just in case.
Yeah.
And I wish there was something today, some kind of a patch on our backpacks or some symbol that we could wear on a hat, or, because they have, like, for instance, kids that are being trafficked, they've got some symbol they wave at you to let you know. So just something so kids know that if you just need to talk about something. I wish each family had a hotline where the family member could call their family's hotline and just put something in there where it was an AI voice or something. You don't know who it is, but they might just say, listen, I need someone to see me in this house. And talk about it, Kai.
I think that's sort of that we experienced that in our family. My son, when he was 16, 17, was going through a rocky time, and he didn't want to speak to his mother, but his mother needed to know he was okay. And so I had to work out, right, who the heck? The thing is, we all come from ego, and I think we need to park our ego and go, it's not about me, it's about the kids. It's about
ego, y'all. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's about the kids. It's not about the parent, really. We need to provide the safe environment for them. I worked out that the person that was my son's safe space was his uncle. And so whenever he needed support, he could go to his uncle. Now, I got to the stage where I desperately wanted to know what was going on in those conversations. But to be honest, it wasn't any of my business.
So that's your brother, his uncle?
Yes.
So what's your brother's name?
Will.
So did it kind of go down like this? So, Will, you two were talking the other day, huh? Anything you want to tell me?
And his answer.
So let's talk about that, though.
No.
A lot of us, we claim like, okay, I'm going to respect your boundaries, this and the other, go to Uncle Will, but then we can't we always get a dip.
Yeah.
We got to, let's talk about that. What did you do? You were drawn to like a moth to a flame. You wanted to pick Will's brain. What did you do to stay out of it?
I think the thing is I had to remind myself that actually it wasn't about me. And was my son looking happier when after the conversation? Was he feeling as though, was he looking as though his mojo was coming back? And I was seeing all the positives. So it was, come on, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If I meddled, I knew it would make things worse. So I had to. I mean, otherwise I would have broken that trust. Well, my brother he was absolutely fine. It was basically, you might ask the question, but it's none of your business, love. And that was fine. And that's what I do when I'm talking with my clients. I say to them, and I you've sort of alluded to this, is unless your life's been threatened, or unless you're in danger or someone else is, then it's confidentiality here.
But everybody's got their own demarcation lines in the sand when it comes to, that's my child, you should have told me.
Yes.
How dare you? And then it starts that crap about because sometimes parents get jealous.
Yes.
Now, why do they go? Why does she always call my sister instead of me? I'm her mother.
Why couldn't I fix my child? I hear you. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So what's more important? That it's on a need to know basis and you got to trust the people sitting in the front row seats of your life. I'd rather have my child confiding in someone that I'm related to, even whether we get along or not, than some person that if they're spending the night there, I don't know where to begin to find them.
Exactly. That's the thing. And I think this is where we have to it's all about the parental ego. And we need to understand that if our child is benefiting from speaking to someone else, surely that has got to be a good thing. I mean, Dr. Lauren, I've lost clients, sort of mum would sort of say to me, well, I need to know after the session, I need you to debrief me. And I will go, oh yeah, the debrief will be, Peter's doing absolutely fine, and I'm meeting him next Monday. No, you don't understand, Kai. I need to know what he said. And I went,
details, woman, details.
No. And some parents really still can't handle that. And they go,
excuse me, Kai, I'm the one who writes your check. Tell me.
Then I'm sorry. No, I don't. I don't work with those.
That's half the problem right there. They're telling on themselves. Now, let me ask you this. When it comes to drugs and the effects of drugs. Let's say not just drugs, but things. Let's say things that kids do nowadays. Reach twos, their go-to for numbing. So it could be
Yes.
cutting. It could
Yes.
be not eating. It could be
Yes.
putting their fingers down their throat. It could be taking Xanax out of mom's purse or whatever. I don't care what they're doing. I mean, I do, but before that's important to me, I want to know what is the thing that's causing them to think they need numbing? What's the big thing right now out there? What are you hearing?
Do you know what? I mean, I'm just going through the clients that I'm seeing at the minute. One of them is just really struggling. He's really lonely. He's moved to a new job and he's moved to a new city, and he's having an awful time with that. I've got another girl who's a third year medical student, and she's doing the perfectionism, so she's really struggling with that. I've got another child who is much younger, and his father died prematurely. So do you know what? There's a whole gamut of stuff that our kids are dealing with. You know, so one child,
Big time adult problems.
yeah, massive problems. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, one child lost her grandmother, and where she comes from in Spain, she's 12, and she was expected to stand next to an open coffin for 3 hours, watching people weeping and wailing. Some adults haven't even dealt with that, so why a 12-year-old? You know, and so there's so much that but as you say, it is hard. You know, sort of adult sort of problems that our kids are having to deal with. And we need to equip them with the tools that they need. So actually, a lot of the time, you know, there are sort of other sort of ones where some kids just need a little bit of reassurance, to be honest, and to understand that life isn't technicolor, and that the feelings that you're feeling, you label them as bad. I don't label them as bad. I just label them as different to the happy, fluffy ones. And so to understand that life has a whole range of emotions, and we need to acknowledge and understand all of them. So
Yes. I want you to. We've got like 8 minutes, right?
okay.
And I want to get to the free workbook. It's scrolling along the bottom. I want to get there, but let's ease into that intersection if we could by talking about this. Can you speak to some of the warning signs, red flags, where the needle's peaking and pegging, that family members and people that support these young people, whether you're a friend, next door neighbor, whatever, where things are hiding? What kind of things are hiding, in your opinion, in plain sight?
Okay. First of all, you've got to know your child, because one child might be an introvert and be absolutely fine and not going out with their friends terribly long, and that's normal. Other kids might be the extroverts, and suddenly the behavior is changing. So what I want you to do is to look at behavior changes. Is your child suddenly, you know, are the grades dropping? Is your child sort of coming in and being very secretive and not allowing you into their backpack? You know, what's in there? Is your child
What indeed?
Yeah. What are they avoiding? Are they avoiding school? Are they avoiding their sort of friendships? Are they avoiding eye contact? Are they avoid, you know, because anxiety is very good at, you know, if we avoid stuff, then we feel marginally better. So it's trying to look at the changes in behaviors. It could be, I don't want to go to school any longer, or I don't want to go to sort of, you know, hockey practice anymore. And it's just understanding why these changes are, and sort of, you know, you're not going to find the answers immediately, but it's just sort of, I recognize that something's going on here. Do you want to talk about it yet? And invariably, because you mentioned a while back, our kids need control. So we can't say, there's something wrong with you. Sit down, young man. I need to find out what's going on. It's hang on a minute. And I've got a good sort of example, or a good exercise here. Is there are 3 questions that you can ask your kids. 1, on a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your number? So 0 being really bad.
Okay.
Are you going to ask me a question, or are you good?
No, I'm counting off.
Right.
1.
Number 1 is, what's your number? So on a scale of 1 to 10, sort of, you know, 0 or 1 being possibly suicidal. 10, no, I'm good. I'm skipping through the tulips. Things are absolutely fine. So, you know, here's the benchmark. You know, okay, how your child is today. Only do this exercise once a day, so you know what's their number. Remember, one child's 5 is different to another child's 5. That's fine, but you will know: are they getting better? Oh, they were a 7 today, and they were a 5 yesterday. Oh, they're doing okay today. That's good. Your second question is, what's your word? I want you to give me a describing word how you're feeling, and they'll probably go mad, angry, and you go, oh, okay, you were angry yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that the same angry? They go, oh, no. Yesterday I was really angry because I got an F in math. Okay, well, why are you angry today? Oh, well, because my best mate, he absolutely did a number on me, and he threw me under the bus. Oh, okay. Well, that's not quite the same angry, is it? And so kids realize, they start to get an understanding of their own emotional landscape. So,
that's important. I have a family friend they have 3 children, and I love what they do. You know how kids decorate their doors to their bedroom?
Yeah.
Well, at the doctor, how it has that pain, those faces to point to where your pain level is. They have that emotional one. They're not, and they have them on those kind of emojis, on their door. And so they can put, if they're behind that door, they identify the face that's behind that door.
Yeah.
I'm sad, let me mourn, I've got a thing. At least
Exactly.
And to give them permission to be vulnerable in this house. You ain't got to wear a t-shirt with that emoji on it to school. No. But in this house, we need to know what's going on.
And that's what
we're going to respect that.
That's what the first 2 questions are. The third question is, do you want to talk? And this is where the kids' control comes in, because 95% of the time they'll go, no, not interested. No, I don't want to talk. And you back off. The golden rule is, you do not ask. You do not ask. If your child doesn't want to talk, you have to, But there is that 5% where they go, yeah, I want to talk. This is the gold. And this is I've had this with my kids. And so you, rather than do I knew something was wrong, you've got to tell me what. I go, oh, okay, right. Are you ready to talk right now? And sometimes it's, no, shit's going down and I don't know what, but once I get it sorted in my head, I can speak to you. Or it could, do you want to take the dog for a walk?
Right.
Or do you want to sort of, bake cookies with me? Or do you want to do dinner with me? Right. And it's a way of breaking the ice so that your child has the control over the conversation rather than us railroading them in. And so they are able to lead it and sort of, just tentatively take the steps to open up that dialogue that us parents are so desperate for. So it's what's your number, what's your word, do you want to talk? And the thing is that it helps our kids realize that actually we are there for them 100% of the time, and they get to choose when they want to avail of our advice and our support.
Right. And I'm going to say another thing, because there is that line where it's like, okay, I try to be nice, and I'm giving you options where you can say you can lead the way, but you know what? Now I am the parent, you are the child, and here's what's getting ready to happen. When you come home from studying over at Petra's house, you and I, when you get home, need to have a talk. See, not need or, oh, honey, when you get a few minutes, I want to talk to you. That doesn't put any fear in them about anything. They doesn't get them thinking, okay, Ma, whatever. Talk to the hand, Ma. I ain't got time for you. I'm going shopping. But when you say I need to talk, I don't care where they're going. They're gonna keep. I wonder what did I do? Am I in trouble? They're gonna be thinking, when you tell your kids I need to have a talk with you, that's a code. That's a secret handshake. That's that private door where the person slides like, who's that? Okay, come on in to get in. So I think that's important too, just like freaky couples have safe words.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You need that thing that makes it easy for people that you love to remember that you are available no matter what.
And that's the thing. And it's avoiding the judgment and none of the, you did what?
Right. Right.
We just have to, we meet them where they're at. And it's I often sort of say to my kids, I've never parented a child with ADHD before. I don't even know what I'm doing, or whatever the situation is. Yes, but I am going to walk beside you. I am going to be with you through this. And together we can work out how to sort this stuff out.
Can I take 1 minute? Will you? I'm going to dip out for 1 minute exactly, because then we'll come back. It'll be time to close the show. Tell them about the free workbook.
Okay. Well, this is as you can see, Fearless and Free is my workbook that came out in November. You can get the first free chapter. CAIGRAHAM.com/fearless, which is on the screen, is where you can get the whole workbook, and that's available on Amazon at the minute. You can get the first chapter for free, which is CAIGRAHAM.com/chapter, and it's a workbook that is designed to be sort of scrawled in and written in, and it's not one of these novels where you sort of go from start to finish. You dip in and out, and there are chapters there to support parents, how the do's and the don'ts, how to the 3 questions exercises in there, and it helps you understand how to support a child with anxiety. The other side is that it gives you all the tools and the coping strategies for the kids that are going through anxiety, so they know what to do when. It's a practical guide, and it will help you break down anxiety, recognize the signs, recognize the triggers, and then once you've got it all sorted in your head, how to move forward and manage what's going on in your head.
Perfect. You guys, opportunities are in abundance around us so that we can find our highest selves and fiercely protect our divine gifts in this world, our mission. Stay on point, stay on track. And this work that Kai is doing is a part of that. It's available. Use the links that you see on the screen to continue the dialogue, especially wherein it pertains to finding out how you can have a better relationship with a young person in your life. Doesn't have to be your own, but if they're in your life, you owe it to them and then also to yourself. So thank you so very much, Kai Graham. Love the work you're doing. You're welcome back anytime. And as for all of you out there, you're welcome back tomorrow morning if you'd like. I'll meet you, I promise, God willing, right over there on the front porch at 8 a.m. Central, where together we can have yet another illuminated conversation. As in closing every day, I remind you that I love you and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow. Great job, Kai. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day. What is going?
Show me your soul, baby. I'll show you mine. Show me your soul, honey. It's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul, and honey, I'll show you mine.